Do not do anything you see Bob doing. Bob has had special training to do the things that Bob does. Bob may have killed 3 people mastering his skill. If you damage or kill someone mimicking whatever Bob does, that's on you. If you're not under parental supervision that keeps you from doing things, that's on your parents. But do not do anything you see Bob doing. Bob has had special training, and people can die if you try to do what Bob does. As for me, all of my comments are parody. They're meant to entertain. And if you have to find a smidgen of truth in the things that I say, I'll be happy. In the meantime, we'd really appreciate it if you'd click on the subscribe button down at the bottom of the screen, and also put in your likes or dislikes and add any comments. We'd really like to respond to some comments, so feel free to click on that you're subscribing to our content. Even click on the button that gets you a notification so you'll know when we have new videos out. The goal is to have a pair of them each week, but sometimes we get a little bit behind. Anyway, please hit the subscribe button. Do not do anything you see Bob doing. We welcome you to these videos. My name is Silo. That's Bob. My name is Silo. And these are my words. So let's get started with this week's subject. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back. It's currently late December in the year 2020. I know, the year that the history book said that everybody thought was going to be the worst year ever. Boy, were they wrong. Nonetheless, the indications are that Joe Biden is going to be crowned President of the United States in about another month. Unless Donald Trump can pull a final rabbit out of his hat, it looks like he's going to be dragging the cross up on the hill. And I think this is kind of ironic because this is a duplication of an event that has happened many times in history, but most prominently about 2,030 years ago. About 2,030 years ago, the Roman rulers of a country had this Passover event where they would free one condemned prisoner in the jail, and the Jewish people would get to decide who to release. Pompus Pius brought up 2 individuals. One of them, and forgive me for mispronouncing his name, was Barbarus, and he was a murderer, he was a rogue, he was a thief, he was a real bad man. He had been sentenced to death. And the other one, of course, was J.C. And J.C. didn't speak like the elites wanted him to. He didn't follow the doctrines that the elites demanded that he did. He went out and he spoke to everyone, and he achieved miracles that the leaders of the temple buried and would not allow their people to see. J.C. went out and changed the fundamental ways that people were thinking, which of course made the leaders at the Jewish temple really, really upset. So when it came time to decide between which of these 2 individuals would be put to death, the local leaders of the Jewish temple prevented most of J.C.'s followers from getting into the courtyard where the voting would take place. Instead, they packed it with a bunch of people that they knew would falsify the votes, that would vote the way that they wanted, and that they would make it seem like JC wasn't getting any votes. JC's followers were upset. They were being kept out of the voting process. But there was nothing they could do. The Jewish leadership had control over who was going to be in that courtyard, and they controlled it well. When the vote was taken, and JC was chosen to die, Pontius Pilate was stunned. And he said, I wash my hands of this whole thing. I'm not responsible. Sort of like what the Supreme Court's been doing. Sort of like what the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, John Roberts, has done. John Roberts, like Pontius Pilate, could have put an end to this. But instead, John Roberts has said, I wash my hands of the whole thing. The elite leadership falsified the votes. There are indications that they brought in false ballots and they packed the courtyard with the votes that they wanted. There are affidavits after affidavits after affidavits of people who have stood up and said, there was something wrong with these votes. But the Democrat leadership, like the Jewish leadership before them, have denied these people a voice. We even have Mitt Romney playing Peter and denying Donald Trump 3 times. $2,030 years ago, a travesty of honesty was committed upon the people of the Middle East. Today, 2,030 years later, history has repeated itself. Humanity keeps getting tests to find out how far up they've climbed. 2,030 years ago, we came that close to being corrected. The skies grew dark, and there was another discussion, let's say. After JC passed from this earth, there was another discussion. There were other arguments as to what should be done with humanity. And we came that close to having the vote go against us. But we survived. We're here now. And to be perfectly honest, if it wasn't for young Amish girls who gave their lives for their sisters and for their classmates, if it wasn't for the various people who are doing really, really great things, humanity would be corrected. I always hate it when that happens. So there's a lot of blood and there's a lot of activity, and frankly, I've grown a little bit lazy. But if my masters call me up and they say it's time for all hands on deck, I'll be there. And if they say that it's time for blood, I'll be there. my job. This is just for fun. 2,030 years ago, injustice was put upon this earth. What? No comments, Bob?
Bob agrees.
You see? Even Bob knows. My name is Silo, and these are my words.